Hey guys, it's Gaz. Welcome to the Warframe video. So today we're going to briefly go over the 3 different dev workshops that DE created over the weekend about some upcoming changes to very important systems in Warframe. Those 3 systems are Riven mods, the alerts, and Melee. So we got some information on Melee 2.97, as Steve calls it, which is totally not Melee 3.0. So they put up a dev workshop. I'm going to link that in the description of this video if you want to read over everything they said. But I made a TLDR right here about what's happening. So the first thing that I definitely noticed in the changes they were showing were that quick melee is not going to be a thing anymore. So what quick melee is basically while you have your gun equipped, you spam them. You can push the melee button or spam it if you really need to, and you will do some quick attacks that do not involve your combo really. Like you won't be doing any combo attacks, like the special combos built into your stances. You're just gonna be doing like some pretty normal like strikes. With these updates to melee, that will not be a thing anymore, and that will be a nerf to many kinds of playstyles that mostly on polearms. Daggers might become a little bit worse at melee spam as well, but it's mostly going to be a nerf to polearms and the quick melees that polearms have. So that's a big nerf to my playstyle. But let's get more into the changes. So another thing I'd like to mention is that mod updates are not happening with Melee 2.97. So there is a very high possibility that some of the Melee mods that are in the game right now will do pretty much nothing while we are waiting for the rest of Melee 3.0 to be released. So this first change that they're going to be letting out is going to probably be like in the next 2 weeks. And I'm expecting Melee 3.0 to be fully out by like the middle or the end of the summer. So there might be a good portion of time we have some useless mods, guys. But that's just speculation by me of when it's actually coming out. Okay, so the main changes that they are making to Melee is there is going to be an instant transition between gun mode and melee mode. So if you are holding a gun normally, like let's just make the situation before this update comes out. I'm using my Soma, I'm using my Arcaplasmor. I fire it. If I push the melee button, I will do a quick melee, as I was mentioning earlier. I will do a quick slash. Nothing doesn't like break my combat flow or anything. I just need to do a quick attack to kill the enemy right in front of me because I don't want to shoot him with a bullet. That is getting changed. So in the future, when this update comes out, if I use the melee button while I have a gun equipped, I will switch from having my gun equipped to having my melee in both of my hands, and I am doing melee combos. And after I've gotten into melee mode, I'm going to call that melee mode, where I have my melee weapon in both my hands. If I click or push the fire button for my gun, I will switch from being in melee to having my gun out again. So it's going to be a really quick transition from going to gun to melee, melee to gun. So that should be really cool, actually. I know Steve has said that they were inspired by Devil May Cry, the third-person action game, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I love the first Devil May Cry game. I've loved pretty much all of them, to be honest. I think 3 was the bad one. It was either 3 or 2 was the one I didn't really like that much. But either way, the combat in that game flows really well between gun and swords. So the fact that they're taking inspiration from that is a good sign for me. So yeah, you're going to switch between melee and gun really quickly. That's basically all that little bullet point's about. Another thing they're adding is directional melee ground slams. So currently, if you do a ground slam while you're mid-air, you go directly down, you can't aim it, but they are changing that so you can basically aim your ground slam, which actually should be a pretty good change. It will let you basically just transition from being in the air to attacking an enemy on the ground pretty precisely. So I'm actually looking forward to that change quite a bit. They're also doing a huge update to the visual effects for melee. And then another pretty important point, this is why I think some of the mods might become useless, is because the blocking button is being removed, guys. So there will no longer be a button you need to press to block. The new thing they are changing is that blocking will become automatic when you have your melee equipped. You're in melee mode, so you push the melee button to go into melee mode, and you are looking directly at an enemy. So if you have your gun out, you will never be blocking. We'll see what happens with the auto blocking mod that does exist right now, but I'm having a strong suspicion that that will become useless in the future. Okay, guys? As I said, I'm linking the dev workshop in the description if you would like to read some additional information on that one. Okay. Next one is there is a alerts rework. So currently, also DE made this TLDR for us, which is very nice of them because I don't need to make one myself. So the alerts in this game currently, there's a lot of trash in them. Basically like credit alerts, void traces alerts, things like that that nobody wants to do. So let's quickly take a look at my navigation console before we go over the rest of this. So look at this right now. There's one credit alert, there's a chroma helmet alert, and then there's a nitrate extract alert. So I'd honestly consider doing the chroma alert or the nitrate alert, but I'm never doing that credit alert. So what they're going to try to do is consolidate the amount of useless things like that, but the way they're doing that is by completely removing alerts altogether. So there's a new thing coming out. It's going to be, this is basically the thing I thought was going to be a battle pass before, but it's called Nightwave, and it's kind of hard to understand exactly how it's going to work out. We'll be getting more information in the future, but basically they will be removing alerts, and they are putting the alert rewards into this thing called Nightwave, which will be a episodic kind of thing where I think it's going to be like a weekly situation where you complete challenges throughout the week, and then you earn a special kind of currency similar to Vitus Essence from arbitrations that you can purchase specific rewards that you want from these Nightwave rewards. So for example, if corrosive projection was a possible reward, which it will be from this new system, you could select to buy corrosive projection. So I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work out. It honestly sounds like a nerf to getting like that stuff pretty easily, because you have to earn the currency, then you're going to have to like get enough currency to buy the thing you specifically want, and who knows if it's going to be available at that time. But at the same time, looking at corrosive projection right now, which is an extremely important mod, you basically just have to be online and awake when the alert pops up. So I think this will be a better system overall for all players to get these things without having to be online at 4 a.m. when the corrosive projection alert randomly shows up. Okay, so that's good. It's going to basically just make it less stressful to get these things. But at the same time, I don't know how the supply and demand is going to go for these things as far as trade is concerned. Okay, so this is also going to have lore tied to it. So I'm interested to see how this works out. We're going to get a new character, apparently, who is the radio host of this Nightwave thing. So yeah, there's a couple question marks on that one for me, but I have high hopes for this one. I'm hoping there's also new rewards that are added to this to make veteran players like me interested in it as well. Because honestly, I'll do a corrosive projection or an energy siphon alert here and there, just to like maybe give that to somebody or to like sell it for platinum. So yeah, I hope they make it desirable for me as well. And the big change that I am super concerned about, guys, is the Riven changes. So sorry about the sarcasm and stuff on this TLDR I made, but I'm honestly super cautious about this one. So the really, really, really big thing here, guys, is that Riven disposition is going to be changed every 3 months from now on. And the way they're going to gauge the 3 month thing is every prime access, there will be a Riven disposition change across the board. So what that means, if you don't know what disposition means, it basically shows how strong Rivens can possibly be for a weapon. Let's quickly take a look at my Soma Prime. So the Soma Prime, it's considered a very low disposition weapon. So see right here, Riven disposition, this one dot is white out of the 5 dots. If that had full 5 dots, the stats on this Riven mod would be much higher than what they are right now. The amount of dots right here determines how powerful the Riven mods for that specific weapon would be. So we're looking at a 1 disposition weapon right there. Let's look at a 5 disposition weapon. I don't think the Tiburon has that anymore. Well, the Strun is 4 now. It used to be 5. This got nerfed in the past. Oh, it is still 5. Okay, so here, this is like what a 5 disposition Riven can look like. And this has been nerfed. Before the nerf, this was about 220% multi-shot and 300 plus damage. Okay, so if the Soma had 5 disposition, so 5 white dots, we'd be getting crazy stats like this instead of 45% toxin or whatever the heck was on the other one, okay? So making changes to Riven disposition can be a very big deal, guys. So the fact that they're going to be changing this every 3 months means that weapons that are already powerful and have high disposition Rivens are going to definitely be in the targeting area for DE. They also did give us some more information on how they will be deciding what gets changed as far as nerfs and buffs. The way it should be is that they look at the usage stats of all these weapons, and whatever is like super popular gets nerfed, and whatever is not super popular gets buffed, so people are more likely to try out those weapons with a Riven. But they did give us the information. They have a secret list of ranking what they consider to be a strong weapon. So that's going to be taken into account when we're figuring out what gets nerfed and buffed, guys, which is kind of a big bummer. Because if you did not know this, when they change those dots on there, the Riven disposition, that will affect your mods that already exist. It's happened to me plenty of times in the past. For example, when the Nami Skyla Prime was about to come out, I bought, here, let me just show you. I bought a Nami Skyla Riven the day before the Nami Skyla Prime came out, and I lost about 20% status chance on this, and also like a ton more like of these other. This is the exact same roll I had when the Nami Skyla Prime came out, and the stats changed overnight, guys. So that's really bad, in my opinion. Things like the Rubico are going to get nerfed. When I read that, I saw Rubico Prime is getting nerfed every 3 months, guys. This has already been nerfed. I already lost a bullet in the magazine because the Riven disposition was nerfed on the Rubico Prime a few months ago. So I can guarantee you that the Rubico Prime's Rivens will get nerfed again when this next disposition change comes up, and then 3 months after that, I guarantee it's getting nerfed again, guys. So I am super sad about that one. But yeah, that's just how it is. They're going to be doing that very regularly now. One saving grace for people that do have super powerful Rivens for melee weapons is that melee Rivens will not be changed until Melee 3.0 is fully out, as far as what they were telling us. So that will most likely be happening during the summer. So if you have a super powerful Graham Riven or Scoliac or whatever, that will not be touched until Melee 3.0 gets to changing the mods. So you can hold on to those for now. Another thing that's happening with Rivens is that Arcwing gun Rivens are being added to the game, and there will be arbitration reward options you can buy. So you won't actually get them to drop during the mission of the arbitration, but if you have enough Vitus Essence, which is the resource that only comes from doing arbitration rotations, you will be able to purchase Arcwing gun Rivens from the arbitration guy. So that's actually a pretty cool idea in my opinion. And you bet your butt that those Imperator Vandal Rivens will be very expensive the first day. So if you get one on the first day that these are available, you should hit me up because I want to buy one of those, okay? I've actually started doing arbitrations again, so I can actually get these the first day they come out and try my luck at getting an Imperator Vandal Riven. Okay, and then there was also no real information on the return of Sentinel Weapon Rivens. So if you didn't know, Sentinel Weapons used to have Rivens that were available. They removed them because they thought it was like a waste of time. People didn't want them. But what that did is that made the supply of them go crazy. Like people, they know they're not available anymore, so people were paying a ton of plat for them. Somebody actually offered me like 2,000 plat for my death machine rifle Riven, and it's not even that good. So the fact that they're not obtainable anymore is making people go crazy. So they did say they would eventually add them in the future, but we still have no concrete information on how those are being handled. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'll be linking all the dev workshops for these in the description below. You know what, guys? As far as my thoughts on this, I just want new content in Warframe. I really, honestly, don't care that much at this point. What happens to my Rivens? I work so hard on these Rivens, but like at the end of the day, it's D's game. They get to decide what happens. All these things belong to them pretty much. As far as I'm concerned, and if they give me the Exploiter Orb and they give me Hildren and all this new stuff and it turns out really well, I can forgive them on nerfing my stuff that I've worked really hard on, as long as it's not too bad. I am fully aware that the Rubico is getting nerfed every 3 months from now until the end of time, until people just completely stop using the Rubico, okay? So that's a big oof. I'm going to still keep my Rubico Riven, but I definitely guarantee that thing is getting nerfed from now on. most popular weapons are going to be getting nerfed as far as Rivens are concerned. The one thing that is a bit weird though is when they nerfed Riven Disposition last time, they actually selected the Comb and the Detron and chose not to nerf those out of all weapons. They made a special point to not nerf the Comb and not nerf the Detron because getting to 100% status on those is very important, and the Riven helps you get that not very easily, but easier. So I'm wondering if they will make any special cases of not nerfing things on this next rotation and the rest from now on. But honestly, if I was a Comb Riven holder right now, I would be a bit scared about what would happen to my baby, okay? So yeah, that's kind of a big oof. I really wish they wouldn't just like willy-nilly decide to like nerf things, but yeah, like I said, it's their game. They get to decide what happens. As far as the melee changes, I'm curious to see what will happen. If melee gets ruined, guys, like it's really bad for the game because a lot of people like to play melee only. So yeah, we'll see. And as far as alerts go, like I need to see what the alerts like end up being like until I have an actual opinion on it. Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you would like to discuss any of these things, go ahead and comment below. But like I said, I've started doing arbitrations again, so I can get these Arcwing weapon Rivens the day they come out. So I'm just doing like a 10-minute survival, hop out. Unless like I have a good team, I want to go a little bit longer. I would definitely recommend doing excavation arbitrations because those are really good Vitus Essence for your time. Okay, guys? So I will talk to you in the next video, which will be coming very soon. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for all the support, and yeah, take it easy. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video if you want to, and all that stuff. Alright, guys? Peace.